Welcome to Block 7, Topic 1, which is about disseminating your findings. Why disseminate your findings? In order to achieve the purpose of your evaluation, which you have identified in Block 2 of this course, sharing your findings is essential, whether that's to identify ways to improve a service or programme, demonstrate accountability, share knowledge, demonstrate the success or otherwise an intervention, demonstrate effectiveness, or to justify continued funding. Throughout the course, we've emphasised that the key reason for doing evaluation is to provide evidence to inform decision making. Your evaluation is therefore not complete until its findings have been disseminated. There are broadly three different types of goal when sharing your findings. We've focused on disseminating for action, but dissemination is also key for understanding and awareness. Dissemination for action has the goal of influencing changes or other decisions. Dissemination for understanding has the goal of sharing knowledge gained during the evaluation. Finally, dissemination for awareness has goals such as profile raising, sharing good practice, and celebrating success. These goals are of course not mutually exclusive, but can be a helpful framework to think what you're trying to achieve. Senior decision makers will need all three types of information, so when you're disseminating your findings, consider how the information that you provide will contribute to each of these three goals. Again, there are three different types of format that you might consider using to disseminate your findings. These include written, verbal, and electronic. Written reports include reports, press releases, and peer-reviewed publications such as those you'd see in an academic journal. Verbal formats might include presentations, discussions or debates, and television or radio media interviews. And lastly, electronic formats might include podcasts, websites, blogs, and so on. The format that you choose will be influenced by the dissemination goal, whether it's focused on action, awareness, or understanding, and by consideration of who it is that you're disseminating to achieve those goals. When you thought about your primary and secondary stakeholders in Block 2, who were they and what considerations might you need to make when sharing your findings with them? This slide is an example of the sorts of considerations that you might want to think about. For each stakeholder, consider which methods might be appropriate, accessible, and convincing to those involved in decision making. Commissioners are key influencers in decision making, but are likely to be short of time. You might therefore aim to present your findings in such a way that the key information needed to affect decisions is readily available and portrayed in a convincing format. For example, a detailed report with an executive summary of the findings, backed up by a presentation of your findings. Those who work on the running of the intervention programme may have more interest in the finer details of your findings, and if they're involved in the running of the programme, taking time to present findings and recommendations personally, with opportunities for interactive feedback and discussion is likely to be important. You may think about how to avoid people integral to the running of the programme feeling done to, for example by involving them in regular updates about your evaluation work. If your findings are to be used by politicians or councillors, consider what information they might need or be interested in when decision making. So rather than long detailed reports, short reports with human interest stories which reflect on their sphere of influence might be most effective. Lastly, service users may be open to a broader range of dissemination formats. Consider easily accessible findings available electronically or in a widely available media such as newsletters, websites, blogs, and so on. Case studies which resonate with individual experience may also increase the relevance of findings for service users. These are of course all examples, and you'll be more expert in knowing your own audiences, but hopefully this gives you some ideas about how best to use the range of dissemination options available to you to increase the impact of your findings.